we'll do Aloha Bob for today. How's
Aloha
that?
Bob.
And Captain Joel Weiner. Otherwise,
with another episode
of the Controller Bob and Wiener Show. Today we're going to talk about a couple things. I'm glad you're listening and hanging out with us today. We're going to talk about some interesting things today that happened on a flight that we discussed back in a couple months ago. We were flying, and I was working on my instrument flying, and we were scheduled to do an approach. We had read the ATIS, and we had looked at the approach, and we said, okay, we're going to do this approach. Did we not? And at the last minute, we get the switch over to another approach. So for you instrument pilots, this is a great exercise in staying ahead of the airplane, because I was way behind the airplane on that one. Do you remember that?
I can't remember where we were going.
Unbelievable. I throw something at you and you just... Anyway.
Melbourne is my guess.
Does it matter where it was at?
No, it doesn't matter.
I think it was Fort Pierce.
That's a better spot.
Anyways, the bottom line is we had to change. So immediately we get a vector to the new approach. And so I immediately start, figuring out where my approach plate was. You got to brief it. You got to set it up in the airplane. And I was way behind. The next thing you know, you're on a base leg turn, and here comes the needles. And the whole time I was behind, and I was really not happy with the way that went down. And I guess the lesson I learned from that was, what do you do? I mean, how do you resolve that? If you see yourself behind on a prep for an approach when you get the last minute change, what do you do?
Right. And the scenario where this started was ATC changed us from one runway to the other.
Right.
They changed us. We were on approach for 1-4.
Yeah.
And at the last minute.
Right.
And it was marginal VFR.
Right.
Fog was lifting that morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's all flashing back to me.
Yeah, no, you're great. Anyway, but how do you resolve?
You want to fly the airplane first.
Right.
And then what happened is we got on final, we were way above the glide slope.
Sure.
So,
and we were behind, but I guess the question I'm asking is, looking back on that now, and I was uncomfortable with the way that went down, but how do you, when that happens, what would you do as a pilot to kind of combat the behind if the controller is trying to drive you into the final?
You're trying to drive into the final.
Right.
You have to realize that before you get below 500 feet that we're not going to make it.
Right, but ahead of time, if you're scrambling, would you sit there, and I can tell you, if a pilot were to go, I need time to set this up, and I'm trying to work a sequence out, if I'm trying to get you into a spot on the final, here comes a bunch of different airplanes, and all of a sudden you say, I'm not ready yet because I shoot the approach.
Right, and then what we'd need to do is as the pilot, I would want to go around, either enter the hold or get set back up, radar vectors.
It doesn't happen very often, because I'm thinking that a lot of pilots just basically take it. They shoot the approach when they're behind. Do you find that to be the case? So the question is that a safe way to go about business, or do you think that more pilots should go and say, no, I'm not ready to shoot this approach? Hey, you Mr. Air Traffic Controller, I need you to give me an extended vector. You need some time, right?
Some time. And the air traffic controller is just putting you in line,
right?
And you got to tell them.
It does happen. I don't call it. I'm going to use bait and switch as an example in this particular situation, but changing runways or changing approaches does happen. And so, from a pilot perspective, I'm learning that you have to kind of figure out whether or not I want to continue being behind and I can make a safe landing, or I need to stop what I'm doing altogether. And I don't know how often that happens. For a number of years you've flown, how many times
it's happened to me a few times, and I've gone around a few times.
Does it make? Do they get a lot of grief from the controller when that happens?
No, you may be number 4 in line the next time.
Well, that's true, right? You're going to burn some more gas.
You're going to burn some more gas,
right?
And if you're on a quick turn, or if you're looking to go pick up passengers and they're waiting for you, there may be a lot of pressure involved. But you got to remember, safety's first.
Well, sure. Now, speaking of that, wings credits, when it goes, and we're going to segue into the next topic I thought about, was tell me about your wings credits and why that is important from a pilot perspective. I should earn these. All
right. So to start a wings program was brought out by the FAA a few years back, and it's changed over to FAAsafety.gov is how they run it now. Mm-hmm. And we run seminars in Jacksonville, Craig area, Hurlong, St. Augustine, and they give you wings credits for attending meetings up to an hour. Most meetings are 2 hours, and those credits work toward your flight review. So as you're gaining those credits over the year, you would get credits toward your flight review and count as part of your ground school, and then there's wings phase 1 up through phase, I think.
But why
8
do
or
I
10.
need to earn these wings credits? I mean, realistically speaking, I mean, who cares?
It's further your training.
Okay.
So that's
Does it get me anything like a biannual review, wink and a nod later, or what's the deal on that? I mean,
we'll get you a certificate to print out and hang on your wall.
well, so I get. Wait a minute. No, there's more to that. I guess the point being is the wings credits thing, and I'm joking around. By the
Right.
way, this episode is brought to you by MzeroA cashews. If you can, I don't know if you can zoom into that or not. When you're flying and you're
When
hungry,
you get some wings
nothing,
credits, you may get some MzeroA
nothing
cashews.
makes you less hungry than MzeroA cashews. Remember that the global.
And they are salty.
Salted, that's right. The global marketing MzeroA nation, and we are selling everything. By the way, when you're on a road trip, right?
Okay.
And this is not a wings credit thing. MzeroA body wash. See, right there. That's very important.
Every flight instructor needs one of
Every
those.
flight instructor needs MzeroA body. How much body wash did you have? Wait a minute.
If you notice in my hangar above the bathroom, there is spray. There's spray.
That's
There's
right.
roll on.
But now that MzeroA is selling these products, that's a big deal, right? Right. Because if you can't have body wash, you can't smell good for those evenings when you get stuck in an airport, right?
That's right.
Because so how many times when you go on a trip do you actually pack some extra clothes because the plane could go down? Does that happen very often for you, or is it something that somebody should always do?
I've had to airline home 4 times in the last 20 years.
Yeah, but you did bring
I've had to drive home a few more than that.
Right.
You know.
Right. That tip is brought to you by MzeroA balsa wood. Look here, zoom in on that right there, MzeroA. If you want one, make sure you ask Jason. He's making millions of these things right now. So just call and say, hey, Jason, I'd love one of these MzeroA balsa airplanes.
You put that together,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, for the low price of, how much are they selling them for, retail? Yeah, we got to make some money on this, right? We're just throwing stuff out, right? All right, so here's another quick, what?
I was just seeing what's in your. You keep grabbing your bag.
I got
back there.
stuff, man.
Man,
we are marketing like you wouldn't believe, right? Because you can buy the shirts on the store, correct?
Yeah.
But you can't buy this stuff.
We're working on that. Yeah.
Right. It's all about marketing.
We're
Because this is a high budget operation we got working, right? All right. All right. Yes.
All right. So you got on a sidetrack about wings credits, and I
did.
took you serious.
You did, and I didn't take it very seriously.
You just sidetracked.
Go ahead,
so you
tell them
your
that.
sack
Yeah,
back
right.
there.
No, I was excited because we were
Okay.
propping some material. But no, the wings credit. Hey, I mean, in all seriousness aside, get the wings credits, right? Because
Yeah.
they are important.
During the last 6 months, we haven't done many meetings in person. We're doing some webinars now in Jacksonville, and there's also webinars that you can go online through the FAAsafety.gov and participate nationwide.
Is that the website, FAAsafety.gov?
Yes, sir.
Right. So go on there, check it out. They're hopefully starting up some different ways in which you can meet. There's some online stuff. I actually, in the prep for the written instrument, there's a great little course on the FAAsafety.gov that involved icing.
Yes.
So if you were having trouble with icing and you're worried about that kind of stuff, there was a lot of nuancey stuff for pilots that I found very interesting. It was great, and it really helped me.
They do a lot on icing, a lot on fuel burn
Fuel burn,
calculation.
right?
Check
those out. Right.
3 people every week run out of gas.
Right.
Why?
And so the wings credits also help for your biannual review, do they not?
Yes.
Right. So how many wings credits do I need before? I mean, once I get enough wings credits, what does that help toward my biannual review?
You have to have so many credits in 1 year, and without me going through the credentials off the spot.
You should know this by now.
Oh, yeah,
Are you on a FAA safety tough team?
Yeah, I've done that once.
Okay. Well, you should know these things. I'm going to call you out. See, I'm going to tell you something right now. This is payback because what do I know about flying? Well, not nearly as much as him, billions of hours. So every chance I get to come back and say, ha-ha, that is a big deal. Like, for example, I'll tell you a story.
Oh, here comes another one.
Yeah, so you're going to love this one. We're coming back from Key West, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
recently.
Right, recently. We're coming back from Key West, and there's weather. Now, if you know anything about Florida weather, you know that afternoon thunderstorms are a thing, and if the audio is probably not picking up the thunderstorms that are occurring right now, but the thunderstorms will happen. So fortunately, I have a little advantage in that I kind of know the flow of how air traffic works in Florida, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, so we're way down here in Key
We're
West.
way down here in Key West, and I'm looking on the display for the Florida. I go, we need to probably head over toward Daytona. Did we not?
You did say that.
I did.
And I thought about going up over Lakeland.
And what did you tell me when that occurred?
We're not going to Daytona.
No, and I think that was a very polite way of saying what you were actually saying it to me. And I looked over and I went, well, geez, who was in charge, by the way?
Oh.
Who was PIC?
I was PIC.
Well, that's right. So if you want to go the wrong way, guess where we're going to go? The wrong way, right? So we go the wrong way.
We go toward Lakeland.
I, as a good co-pilot, sat there and kept my mouth shut, unlike today. And so
it's rolling back.
It's coming back. And so
you're in the left seat today. I just noticed that.
Yes, you did. It doesn't matter. We're talking about today. Yesterday. Whatever it was.
Last week.
Anyway. So we come in, and guess where we got routed over?
Daytona.
And guess what happened then? I broke my arm patting myself on the back because you wouldn't listen to me, and that's the way it is always around here. You never listen to anything I have to say.
Is that where we're going?
I think that's just where we're going with that one. Anyway.
Shame on the wiener day.
All right. So today...
I'm luckily...
I need some body wash. No. Hold on. The last 5 minutes of this episode is brought to you by, now you're going to love this, MzeroA antiperspirant. That's right.
It's even got a smile on it.
It's got Jason's face on the front, right? And because a good pilot is always dry, here you go. This is your complimentary MzeroA deodorant. Right. Because you are sweating.
These lights in here.
Are you on hormones, by the way?
This is like flying into the sun in here.
All right, guys. I hope you had fun today. I appreciate you listening. And by the way, a good pilot is always learning. See you guys in a little bit. Thanks.